Hi guys, I'm just going to be doing a little bit of a concept check for you guys from our lesson 2. So we're going to go over our first differences first. Oh god, just emails coming on in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our table number 1. So if we have an x and a y, and we have -2, -1, 0, 6, 0, and 12, it goes down, etc., etc. To find the first difference, what you need to do is figure out the difference between these two numbers. So the difference between these two is 6. And then you do it again. And it is also 6. And if we kept going down, these are also 6. So this means that our first difference is 6 because it's all the same number. So what that is telling us is when we have y equals mx plus b equation, this number here, our 6, is the m. I guess I should say this number here is our m. Okay? And so what this is also telling us is that this line is linear. So what we can also take from this too is our b. Sorry, go this way. So what our b is the y-intercept when x is 0. So if we just take a look over here, when x is 0, y is 12. So our b-intercept is 12. And our m is, again, 6. So when we write this equation, we write it as, we just plug this information into it, y equals 6x plus 12. Okay? So we'll do another one. Just grab this. Just quickly go through it. So if we take a look at x and y are 0, 4, 1, 7, 2, 10, down, and down. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this. So we're taking a look at what is the difference between those two. It is 3. And the difference between these two is also 3. And if we did it again, it would have been 3. And again, what this means is this line, first of all, is linear because this number is all the same. And this also tells us that in this equation, y equals mx plus b, that this number is our slope. So our m is equal to 3. And our y is equal to, or b, sorry, I shouldn't write y, our b is equal to what? So this number, or this letter here, is referring to when x is 0, y is 4. So when our x is 0, y is 4. So our number here is 4. So when we write this equation, we just plug the things we just found into our y equals mx plus b equation. So y equals 3x plus 4. Hopefully that helps a little bit. So we're going to go on to the next one, which I just broke my whiteboard, is graphing a linear equation using a table of values. So we're just going to, pull this whiteboard apart. Okay, so we're taking a look at y equals 2x minus 1. So the one thing we need to know before is that our m also means rise over run. So this is also referred to as our slope. Okay, so what slope is asking for is just how steep the graph would be. Okay, so we're going to erase that. So when we are taking a look at, you didn't really need to know that until the next part, but that's okay, at least you know now. So when we're taking a look at this equation and we need to create a table of values, you're hearing all the dots today. So the things that we know right now are our b, which is, not that you guys can answer me, but it means that when x is 0, y is this. So we can plot that or put that into here. So when x is 0, y is negative 1. And then we can take our information that we learned from last time and finish the rest of our table. So it goes up 2 every time. So negative 1 plus 2 is 1. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. And we now have our points for the graph. Does that make sense, I'm hoping? Or at least helpful? We'll do another one just to solidify. So if we have y equals x plus 2. These are our practice questions, by the way. So x and y. So if we have this, I'm so sorry about all the beeping. If we have this here, so what information does this tell us? Well, this tells us that when x is 0, y is 2. So we can put that, oh my goodness gracious, y is 2. And then this tells us, so there's an imaginary 1 because there's only one x, okay? So this tells us that each time this goes up by 1. So we'll fill this out, and each time it goes up by 1, so 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then we have our points on the graph. Okay? And then let's go to our last one, if I can find it. So graphing without a table of values. So if we take a look at y equals 1/2 x plus 2, I'm going to draw our attempted graph on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the information we know, or it's asking us for, is the slope, which on the last one we talked about was rise over run. Okay? And the slope is also our m value. So our slope is that spot right there. So our slope is 1/2. And like I had said, it's rise over run. Okay? So then when it's asking for our rise, it's asking for that top number. So our rise is 1. And our run is the bottom number. I'm hoping like you guys can actually see this. So our run is 2. Now it's asking for our y-intercept. So our y-intercept is also known as our b spot. Okay, so the y-intercept means where does it intersect on the y-line? So when x is 0, it hits where? So we know that this information here is our b, right? Because it's y equals mx plus b. So we know that our y-intercept is 2. So when x is 0, our y-intercept is 2. So we can plot that one right away. So when x is 0, y is 2. I guess I'll turn this up for you guys. And then we take this information, so our slope is it rises up 1 and it goes over 2. Right? It goes up 1 and it goes over plus 2. And then we do it again. So from here we go up 1 and over 2. And we now have our graph. And we can now, this is a terrible line of best fit, but put our line of best fit. So we'll do one more to solidify that in hopes that it actually makes sense to you guys and my oh so lovely whiteboard. So y equals 3x minus 6. Just going to draw our graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So it's asking us for our slope and our rise and our run and y-intercept. So what we learned from last time is our slope is this value here. And when you see a whole number like that, this also means that it's 3 over 1. So if you need to write that when you see the equation, you're more than welcome to. Okay, so our slope is 3. And then it's asking us for our rise. So we take our slope and it, put that in brackets beside it if you need to. So it rises up 3 and it runs 1. And then to get our y-intercept, again, this is when x equals 0. That's a terrible 0, but we're gonna go with it. So what that means is this is that spot, because this is also our B spot. Okay? So it is -6. So we have our first point. When x is 0, y is -6. And then we now take our slope that we just found and we go up 3 because it rises up 3. 1, 2, 3. And it runs over 1. So our next point is there. And then we do the same thing from this one. So it rises up 1, 2, 3. And it runs over 1. And our next point is there. And I'm not even going to attempt a line, but we will put the line of best fit. And honestly, that is all that our last lesson was. So I hope this helped a little bit. If not, please reach out and ask me.